In today's video, we're going to be looking at a faulty PlayStation 5. The job number is 11177, and this previously came into us for a HDMI port swap, which we'd done, everything was fine, but the customer had some USB 3.0 sockets on the motherboard that were a little bit mangled. I'll put a video up now to show you exactly how bad they are, but at the time where we'd done the repair for the HDMI port, the customer didn't want to go ahead with the USBs. He's now brought it back in and we're going to swap over the USB ports. We're going to add leaded solder onto all of the legs of the USBs on both of them. Just makes it a lot easier when we're trying to remove them from the board. So we take our magical flux. We put plenty of it on there. We're going to do the same for the other one as well. And we're going to do the same for both. Let's just flood this with leaded. There we go. And then also, we do these little ones. It doesn't matter if we're bridging all of them. There we go. And do the exact same for this one. You have to be a little bit cautious because as you can see, there's a tiny capacitor just there. And now the favourite part, as you know, which is clean up. Everything's still very hot, so we do need to be careful. And now whilst the board still has heat in it, we are going to try and wick up what we can. If we can't wick, I'm going to use the solder sucker. But I need to be careful with the solder sucker because we have such small components around it. I'm going to switch over to the solder sucker to get the rest of this sorted. So we should now have very nice clean holes, which we do. Would you look at that? That's one of them and that is the other. A lot of people choose to use a soldering iron wick and a hot air gun to wick all of the holes clear. But for me, I don't know. I've used a solder sucker for such a long time now that I just prefer it, if that makes sense. People say you have to be careful with a solder sucker because of the small components. But as you can see, I've still got a really small capacitor here. We've got this filter, I believe, here. This filter's okay. And if we go over to the other one, exactly the same sort of story. This filter's fine. And the small cap is here. And this big filter is here as well. People choose different things. This is just my preferred method. Another technician at this place hates using the solder sucker and would much rather use a soldering iron, wick, and a hot air gun. I can now show you these ports under the scope. Look at them. These are the ones that come off the board. Just for reference, this is the new one. Some flux on the anchoring points first. Secure those in place and we can work on the other bits. Nice clean with some isopropyl alcohol. Get all that flux off. And just to ensure that the solder flows all the way through to support the ground holes, I'm actually going to put my hot air gun on at 350 degrees Celsius with an airflow speed of 99% and just make sure that they are going through to the other side. Hot air assistance. And just tap. That should make sure that it goes through to the other side. Just go over them again with a little bit of flux, make sure they're nice and neat and tidy. And that is the finished job for one of them. I say finished job. Looks like we need to add a little bit more solder on this one just down here. It's not going to affect anything, to be honest with you, but I mean, just for niceties, right? Jobs are good on that one. We just need to repeat the process for the one next to it now. And here we have the final jobs. I think we're looking pretty good. Again, this same pin here just needs a bit more solder to look nice. It doesn't have to look nice. We want it to look nice. One USB, two USB. Looking nice. This is probably the best angle I can get, but you can see that the solder has come through the other side of the board onto the ground legs as well to make sure it's nice and secure. I think we should give it a test. And here we are plugging in the USB cable to the back of the console. This was the customer's external hard drive. Then we go into storage. And as you can see, USB external storage, going to games and apps. And here is all the customer's games. That's a success. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.